Two more examples to look at in getting ready for handling the long division of polynomials homework tonight. Remember that we're using that old process of long division, but without numbers. And instead of thinking about things as having places, we're thinking about things as having powers. So if I want to divide 6x cubed plus 5x squared minus 4x by 3x plus 4, the first thing I'm thinking about is, how do I get a 6x, right? How do I get something under this 6x? So I'm thinking, what can go in this box right here? To get rid of the 6x cubed, it's got to go away. And so in order to connect those two together, I'm saying, okay, what's got to go in this box? Well, whatever it is, it's got to come from multiplying something times that 3x. And the first thing I recognize is, okay, I have an x, and I need an x cubed, so it's going to have to be an x squared, something x squared, and I have a 3, right? So I need 2 more. So this is going to be 2x squared. Remember, it's only the 3x and the 6x cubed that I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the plus 4 at all. So when I multiply, it's 2x squared times 3x is 6x cubed plus 8x squared. And then I subtract the whole thing. Right? And that subtraction is important. I lose the 6x cubed. I have 5x squared minus 3x squared minus 4x. Okay, so I need somehow to get rid of the minus 3x squared now. And again, I have a positive 3x. I know that I need an x now. What coefficient do I need to make it work? Well, I'm going to need a minus 1. Minus 3x squared when I multiply through minus 4x. And again, those match, and so everything drops out. No remainder left in this problem. Right? But the answer is 2x squared minus x. And if I wanted to, I could write the original divisor times the answer ends up being equal to the function that we started with, the polynomial that we started with. And again, remember, this is really the opposite of our factorization process. Okay, we're seeing the factorization. When we know one of the factors, we divide it in and we get the other factor. One more example, a little bit longer. Okay, so again, we set up the long division. 4n to the 4th minus 9n cubed minus 10n squared minus 17n plus 5, and we divide that by 4n minus 1. Alright, so where do I start? Well, I've got to get 4n, right, something about, right, what do I look first? I look at 4n, and I look at 4n to the 4th. And I know, okay, I got to get rid of 4n to the 4th. I have a power difference of 3, so I need something that's n cubed. Now, we can already feel this is going to be a little bit longer. Do I need any coefficient? I don't. Right, I'm going to get a 4n cubed right there, minus n cubed. Subtract the whole thing, and again, this is where it's tricky. I'm subtracting that whole line. I get a 0. This should be a 4n to the 4th right there. I get a 0. And I have a minus 9n cubed minus a negative 9 cubed, which is going to be a minus 8n cubed. And bring down the 10n squared. Okay. Got to remove. Now we've got to look at 4n and minus 8n cubed. And okay, so it's going to be, I need an n squared of some sort. That's how I handle the differences in powers. How do I get from 4 to minus 8? I'm going to need a negative 2. So I need negative 8n cubed plus 2n squared. And again, I subtract the whole line. I lose the first part. Minus 10n squared minus 2n squared is minus 12n squared. And again, I drop down to 17n. I'm changing colors to represent the different stages in the process. Again, I see n squared here. I have n, so I'm going to need something with an n involved. I'm going to need a coefficient of minus 3 in order to make that work. Minus 12n squared plus 3n. And again, I'm subtracting the whole thing. Lose the first part. Right? Minus 17n minus 3n is minus 20n plus 5. Oh, it looks like we're going to come out without remainder again. And let's see, at this point I'm going to need I don't need any n's anymore because the power matches, but I do need a minus 5. Minus 20n plus 5, and look at that, it matches, and we have no remainder. Now that's a pretty complex process. I realize there's a lot going on there, but it's just following the same process over and over again. Figure out what you need to multiply right, to remove that first part. Right? And it's all about matching. You can see every time I've underlined here, and we're talking about, okay, what do I need to match those terms and get rid of them, and the rest of it follows. Okay, good luck with the homework tonight.